The perfect checking account doesn't exist. Not at a bank, that is. So why do you keep looking there? At AmFirst, you can get no minimum balance or monthly fees, an instant issue debit card, and free checks with unlimited check writing. But who doesn't want more? Like a rewards program you'll actually use, and convenient digital tools that make it easy to manage your account from anywhere. Now you could try and find that at a bank, or you could save yourself the trouble by checking with us.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Alabama. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the AHSAA.
Sarah Silicaga wants your car. This week only, get $1,000 over Kelley Blue Book. Trade or sell outright. We're paying top dollar today. Bring your vehicle and walk away with a check. Don't settle for less at the big chain stores. Help us keep local money local and let us pay you more. Shop us first or shop us last. We won't be beaten when it comes to the most money for your vehicle. We're here to earn your business. Car, truck, van, SUV, we're buying them all. For the best price on your vehicle, give us a call today and get paid. That's Sarah Automotive, Silicaga.
Are you ready for some football? Tune in to WOTM Thursday, August 18th at 7 p.m. for live coverage of the AHSAA Kickoff Classic featuring a Shelby County showdown as the Chelsea Hornets take on the Helena Huskies. Stay with WOTM Friday night at 7 p.m. as the Hoover Bucks under first-year head coach Wade Waldrop brings his squad to Montgomery's Crampton Bowl to battle the Auburn High Tigers and head coach Keith Etheridge.
Morning. Welcome to our press conference this year. As we start Thursday, a new athletic season, the word new brings about excitement, renewal, and refreshment about what's about to come. And to have Megan, Sarah, Todd, Richie, Keith, and Wade here with us today to open this season up is a great day for us, our association. I want to start by just thanking them for what they do, being a teacher and a coach, leading our young women and young men on the field of play each and every day and being role models for the community and their schools. I want to start by last year when I called them up, I said his first name and I got in trouble by doing that last year. I want to welcome our Executive Director, Mr. Alvin Briggs, here for a speech.
And you're still in trouble. Good morning. All right, fellas, relax. It's not game day yet. It's not game day. We ain't got to be all swole. We good. We good. You know, it's all good. Thank y'all for being here, coaches. Thank y'all for being a part of this. We appreciate it. We have one up here without a tie. We got to talk to him about his tie. But we appreciate you being here. Before I get started, I want to bring Brett. Brett, if you come up here, Brett is with our radio network. They do a lot of broadcasting. Brett and Randy both are former athletes, and they believe and have a passion for what our student athletes do. And when you have former athletes that believe in what you do and they have a passion, it's driven. It's driven. So we want Randy to come up here and talk a little bit about the radio network and what they do and what they produce. Randy?
Well, I'll take the credit of being Randy, but I'm Brett. So Randy's in the back there. He's not.
I get y'all confused.
Well, I can see why. Thank you, Executive Director Briggs. We appreciate it. Entering our 16th season with the radio network. We've grown tremendously like most of you guys have, and I think Ron talked about everybody kind of does a hodgepodge of the same thing with digital and, and print and the way things have kind of evolved. But we're proud of several things that we've really been able to do in the last few years. A lot of you may have seen some of our documentaries that we put out. We've worked very closely with the AHSAA to tell some really unique stories of high schools throughout the state, athletes, some feel-good stories that have really gone viral. They've been noticed nationwide. We just recently did one on 5 football that I think a lot of you may have seen, but we've done a lot of them. I encourage you to go to our website and to go on to social media to find those. We've done a really good job of partnering with WOTM statewide to show those, and we're really proud of that product, and we're going to continue to do that and highlight some other really cool stories around the state that once those documentaries are told, they live through time. And they'll be out there forever. So that's the whole goal of doing that, so those stories don't get lost as we move on. The scoreboard show every Friday night is very crucial. We have about 25 affiliates throughout the state of Alabama that bleed over into Tennessee, Georgia, Mississippi, and Florida that carry our scoreboard show every Friday night from 10 o'clock to midnight. It's the most comprehensive scoreboard show in the state of Alabama, and we do a really good job, I think, with what we're able to do as far as bring you every single score before midnight. So that's a goal of ours. We have a ton of you coaches out there that are on the show each and every week, or that rotate through to give updates. We have broadcasters on there to kind of give stories of games of the week that we highlight. So just a lot of that goes on. But again, we're proud to be part of the AHSAA, entering our 16th season. What we've been able to do to bring comprehensive coverage to the AHSAA. But not Champions Challenge, but the Kickoff Classic here. These 2 games will be broadcast as well. You can download the Mixler app to get all of our broadcasts throughout the state year-round, but you can also go to AHSAA.com, and it's right there on the main page. You can click on it, the player, and you can listen to the games that will be broadcast both Thursday and Friday. Thank you.
Thank you. Brett, thank you. That's for those of you who don't know, it's a little inside joke between Randy and Brett that we have. They usually calling me Coach Savarise's son and a couple other names. They both played for Coach Savarese at Benjamin Russell, and they've been exciting partners for us. So they believe in you guys and believe in the association. Brett mentioned WOTM. We want to thank them for what they do for our communities and our schools. Vince Early is the producer of WOTM. He's not here today, but wanted to mention what they do and how they carry our game of the week and those ventures that do. Brett also mentioned that they go out and they do stories. Caleb Brooks, who's the third wheel of their broadcast team, does a tremendous job. So if you ever see Caleb and he's out in your school and your communities, he's out finding that story that needs to be told about each of you. So we want to thank them for what they do. Lastly, I gave this guy a hard time earlier this morning, but he does a tremendous job in Auburn and Opelika. He and Anthony, they're both here. I want to bring both of those gentlemen up. They're going to talk about the Super 7 in Auburn this year and the volunteers and what they do, and we really appreciate that. D-Mark.
Good morning, everybody. D. Mark Mitchell here. I represent the cities of Opelika and Auburn this morning for our Super 7. I know there's only a couple of you that can make it in 6A and 7A and on down to 1A, but we want everybody to show up at Jordan-Hare Stadium this fall, end of November, last day of November, and the first day of December, 1st and 2nd. This will be our 7th time that we've hosted Super 7 at Jordan-Hare Stadium, and we certainly love to host it. We appreciate our partners in Birmingham and Tuscaloosa, and we're just looking forward to hosting it again. If you come our way, please look us up on and let us know what kind of help you need. I'm going to let Anthony here with Auburn Opelika Tourism say a few words too.
Yeah, nice to be here today. And our fearless leader, John Wild, had retired in May, and I'm just trying to live up to what he did with D-Mark and Mayor Anders with the city of Auburn to bring what was Super 6, now Super 7, so many years ago. And as D-Mark said, the 7th time. Our team at Auburn Opelika Tourism looks forward to this every year, or every other year, now 3 years. We have a big volunteer base. Couldn't do it without our volunteers and our partners. And so, you know, on behalf of the City of Auburn, City of Opelika, Auburn University, and Auburn Opelika Tourism, we thank the AHSAA for allowing us the opportunity to again host Super 7. As you heard from Daniel Smith and Knight Edie, they're a great partner that make it all go, and we look forward to working with them again. So, you know, media, if y'all need anything during Super 7, whether it's local accommodations or anything like that, feel free to reach out to our office, Auburn Opelika Tourism. Of course, there'll be a Super 7 packet that'll have all our contacts and information on that, and good luck to all the teams and players that make it to Super 7. Thank you.
Anthony D-Mark, thank you again. And lastly, I want to mention we have 2 radio stations, 2 of our affiliates that are going to be broadcasting today from our building here. First is River Region Sports Radio with Graham Dunn. Graham is back there. He's going to be broadcasting, doing his podcast from here today. Also, the birthday boy, I don't know if he's in here, Doug Amos, turns 62 tomorrow. We want to wish him an early birthday. He will also be doing his show, The Ticket, here today. So he'll be grabbing a couple of you athletes and you coaches. So again, thank y'all for being here, and I'm gonna bring Brandon back up so we can talk to the coaches and schools at the reason why we're here.
Thank you, Mr. Briggs. Thursday begins our first fall contest date, and we're happy to have not just football, but our other fall sports here too. And to talk about her upcoming season is our state championship volleyball coach, Sarah Dubberly from Trinity Presbyterian High School.
So leading up to this season and looking ahead, preseason rankings came out, and it looks like it's going to again come down to possibly me and my husband playing in the finals like we had to this past year. And we keep it all in perspective. We're both blessed to be in a situation where we have not just a job, but talented programs. And at the end of the day, I tell my girls, you know, we can control what we can control. And that's what the work we put in at practice day in and day out. So.
I bet you have a happy home.
A happy home?
Yeah.
Yeah. We make the most of it. We make the most of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. And that was an amazing championship game between her husband and herself last year. Great sportsmanship was shown at the end of that match to shake hands and hug as husband and wife in the championship match. Next, I want to bring up a flag football coach who started the first program last year at Smith Station, had a great year. He was trustworthy in the final championship game in Birmingham at the stadium last year. So please welcome Meg Larson from Smith Station High School.
Thank you, thank you. We're excited to get started again this year. We got a lot of fresh faces. I know this being the second year that the sport is actually being played in the state of Alabama, we've got a lot of fresh faces. We had 10 seniors last year, so we had a lot of turnover. But the girls know that they have really big shoes to fill after the success that we had last season. So I'm excited to see what they can come up with as far as matching what the last team did and taking and being sponges. Last year we had a lot of kids that, you know, knew they knew nothing about flag football, but now we've got kids that have done it for a year, and we've got kids alongside them that have never really played any sports before. So taking all of that knowledge that me and my other coaches have and really soaking it up and turning this year into the same thing or better as last year. So I'm excited to see what my girls can do and what we can come up with this year.
Thank you, Megan. Thursday night, here in Montgomery at 7 o'clock when I have a big-time matchup, Helena High School playing Chelsea High School. And I want to bring up first a young man that Auburn had me introduce me to back in 2016. He said, get to know that guy. And since that time, I've enjoyed knowing Richie Busby was a close friend of mine. So please welcome Richie Busby, Helena High School.
You really did that? Sorry, Brandon. All right, on behalf of Helena High School, the Shelby County school system, I want to thank the Alabama High School Athletic Association for the opportunity to be a part of this game and to be a part of opening night of high school football in our great state. We've had a tremendous summer, a lot of hard work, and you know, we already practiced today. We practiced in the morning, had a good practice, so I think we're ready, and we're looking forward to this game. You know, we've played, this is my 5th season to play Chelsea, and it's always a hard-fought game, clean game with a lot of sportsmanship, but a lot of getting after one another. And we've played 4 times, and all 4 of them pretty much come down, you know, close in the end. I think last year was a 13-point game, but all the other ones have been field goals, and Chelsea scored on us late in 2020 to beat us at their stadium. So it's always a good game, a lot of peaks and valleys in the game, a lot of emotion with the kids being so close to one another, the rivalry, but it's always a very respectful rivalry. I've known Coach Cassidy for years, coached against him when I was at Fultondale and he was at J.B. Pennington. He worked for my defensive coordinator, Coach Elgin, for many years at Pleasant Grove. So there's a lot of back and forth in this game. It means a lot to the kids, but it also means a lot to the coaches because we spend a lot of time together. But looking forward to being in Montgomery Thursday night and just representing the city of Helena and the State Athletic Association in a great way. With me today, I've got defensive tackle, senior Derek Wilson, and senior right tackle, offensive lineman Trace Barnett. Thank you.
Are we doing Q&A after? How does that work?
Q&A now?
Does that work for you? Yeah.
Go ahead.
We can do it. We got plenty of time.
Go ahead.
We have all the mics up there.
Yeah. All right. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. Obviously, to be back in in the state capital, that's got to be important. What does that mean to your guys? What's the hype thing?
Well, you know, when they asked us about playing in this game, you know, first of all, I thought it was a great opportunity to showcase our school system. And, you know, it's kind of unique, us and Chelsea being in the Shelby County school system. And I also thought, you know, what a better way to open the season than with a rival game. You know, give our kids something to look forward throughout the winter, throughout the summer workouts when the grind can get to you. But to know that we get to play a rival early in the year, and then to be the first game to kick off the 2022 season. And I've coached in that stadium a couple of times. And, you know, you look at the opportunity for some of our kids, most of our kids that'll never play in a stadium like that at the next level. And just for them to be able to make that trip and be in a stadium like that, it's just a lot of positives about it for our student athletes.
One more, sorry. Going into the history with the schools, do your kids kind of erase that or winning last year? What does that mean? But you talked about the previous few years of back and forth.
Well,
new season?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you can't, obviously you don't look back on those games, but you also, you look back and see how those games kind of unfold. You know, you've got 2 schools that are very close in proximity. The kids know each other. And, you know, I just think both sides are going to fight to the end in this game because it means so much. You know, we play basketball, we play baseball, and we see each other all year round. It's just a good, clean rivalry. The kids played, you know, hard all 4 quarters, and that's what I kind of mean about every year. It just seems like even though last year we went up 20-0, they erased it 2014, and they had a chance in the 3rd or early 4th quarter to take the lead. And it's been that way every year I've been there. This is my 5th one to play in. So, you know, we know what we're in for. We know they're going to fight, and I know what kind of coach Cassidy is and how he's prepared them. So we're looking forward to it.
Questions?
Thank you, Richie. Next, we have a head coach who hit the ground running in April at his new high school. Please welcome Todd Cassidy from Chelsea High School.
Just want to say a big thank you to obviously our Shelby County Board of Education for allowing us to do this, have 2 schools from the same county playing in Montgomery. Thank you to Coach Briggs and AHSAA for allowing us to do this as well. It's very exciting for our kids. It's been sort of the talk around the team for past week or so that, hey, we're going to Montgomery, we're going to play in Crampton Bowl, that type of thing. So it's been big for our kids as the preparation has gone along this summer for our kids to know that we're playing in this game. So I appreciate you guys putting this on. I think from a coach that has not played in it or coached in it before, it is a big deal to the kids to be able to, from the freshmen all the way up to the seniors, to have this opportunity to play in this. I got to Chelsea in April, and I'm still getting to know the kids a little bit. I love doing this, being able to bring the kids down, because you get to have those conversations like, what's your favorite music, Chris? And just talk to the kids, in a one-on-one basis. So it was good to be able to bring these kids down. I have number 7, Chris McNeil. He's a starting corner for us. Number 3, Cody Fortenberry, starting outside linebacker for us. And number 63, right tackle, Walker Williams. And they're with us today. 3 really good seniors for us, good leaders. We only got about 16, 17 seniors this year on our team. Huge junior class, huge sophomore class, huge freshman class. This class is not as big, but in this class, every one of these kids are a dynamic personality. Every one of them have a very good leadership quality to them. And, even though it's a small group, I feel like we're going to miss these guys probably more than a bigger group, just because they are the ones who sort of stuck through a coaching change. They're the ones who have done a great job of keeping this team together. And so I just say a big thank you to those guys as well. So.
Coming in year one, obviously, when you have a rival game like this, people that they know well, I'm sure you hear it right when you step in the door. But a lot of times they're later on in the year to have week one, though. That's got to be pretty cool that you get to play this team right away.
It is, and it means a little bit. I don't understand really the dynamic of the Chelsea Helena yet, because I haven't coached in it, but it means a lot to me because, like Richie said, I've known him for a long time. Coach Elgin is like a older brother to me, I guess you could say, and he's someone that I love dearly, and so I coached with him for 7 years at Pleasant Grove, or 8 years at Pleasant Grove. And so and Coach Lowry was at Pleasant Grove with us as well. So it means a lot to me personally. And when I got when I got the job, Jim called me and said that, it's going to be hard to hate Chelsea now. So, because that's sort of been the way it's always been, not a hate, but it's just, that rivalry aspect of it. And so, I'm just excited for our kids to be able to play in it and play guys that they know. I know this guy, and so they, it's being close like that, they do know each other, and it means a lot for them to be able to start off the season with that high. But the thing is the next week we have another one, the next week we have another one. So, we have to keep our, perspective at an even keel just about. Yes, sir.
How's the community, the players, the school talked about, now you're in 7A for the first time this year?
When I got the job, it was pretty depressing in the community, be honest with you. We took a different approach. We took a different approach in saying that, we're 7A, so let's go be 7A. Let's go act like 7A. Let's go do things like 7A. The city has done a lot for us over the past month. They've given us a lot of money to help renovate our locker rooms. We're getting brand new turf stadium this year, or turf field this year. So they're starting to pick that aspiration up. We've basically created a new quarterback club that really didn't exist, and those guys have gotten after it. And so even in the on Friday night we had a kickoff pep rally and had over 2,000 people at that pep rally. So the community has really picked up their spirits, and I feel like everybody's really excited about that opportunity to be 7A, not the dredge of going into 7A. Thank you.
Thank you, Todd. As he mentioned, for them to say yes to coming here for their first game and losing the home game in some cases says a lot about them as leaders and being unselfish with their teams and the communities and coming here in Montgomery to host this game this week. So thank y'all again. Next, this guy I'm going to bring up. I met him last year in December in the North-South game for a week. Had a great time talking with him, getting to know him. Please welcome the Hoover High School head coach, Wade Waldron.
Thank you. On behalf of Hoover, we would just like to say thank you. We're grateful to be in this game. First year on the job, to get to play on this stage against this quality of opponent. I'm excited about it, and I know our kids are excited about it. Today joining us, I've got A.J. Franklin, offensive lineman senior wide receiver K.J. Law, senior defensive back Keith Christine. Obvious elephant in the room, new guy, following a guy that had been somewhere for 14 years in a great program. I'm just ecstatic to be the head football coach at Hoover. The kids have been amazing. They have been awesome through the transition, getting to know these guys, getting to form relationships with these guys. It is a very special place, and when you get there and you just see what these guys do year round, how they work, the people that are involved, the network, the support network, it's a great place, and we're excited to be a part of this game today.
Coach, what's the toughest part about this Auburn football team as you look on tape, and when you get into the Crampton Bowl Friday night, what are going to be some of the emotions that will be going through your head the first game as head coach Hoover?
Yeah, the toughest part sitting right back in those chairs, those three guys. They've got really good players. They're very well coached. I think defensively they're as well coached as anybody in the state of Alabama. They play very hard. They play great football. And, at the end of the night, it's going to come down to these guys making plays on both sides and us as coaches having them in position to make those plays. But it's a football game. I got to be a part of this game a few years ago at a previous school, and understanding the dynamic of how this all works, it's going to be better than it was for us the first time I got to do this. But it's a football game. We're going to go through warm-ups. We're going to put our pads on. We're going to go play. And I think Coach would probably agree the team that plays the cleanest, the best football is going to have the best opportunity to win. And I know our kids will be ready, and I'm sure their kids will be ready as well.
Coach, obviously we took this job, it's no secret, one of the top jobs in the state. A lot of pressure, I'm sure, right when you got to Hoover. What's it been like? And I saw on Monday you guys were getting the support at the mall with everyone. Has it been more than what you expected? And going into the game now, you're right, it's about football though at the end of the day.
It is. The pressure, every coach sitting on this stage watching this, they have pressure. They put pressure on themselves to do things right. And I've said this over and over, the pressure is to do things right every day, to prepare yourself for the game. And in the off season, when you have all that time managing that's where the pressure really comes. The Friday night's going to be a result of the things we do right or we do wrong along the way. The support is unbelievable. As someone looking on the outside in for 20 years of coaching, we all form perceptions of a program without being inside that program, but to be inside that program and now see the people that are involved and the support network that's there and how many people make that go from admin, athletic department administration to parents, support groups. It's unbelievable. And Sunday was just a product of many years of a lot of people being very invested in that program and doing things the right way. But look, I've seen it from the outside. To get to be in the Galleria on Sunday and see all those people there supporting these guys. I know they were fired up because they had not been back in that venue, I think, since COVID. Is that correct, guys? And for them to get to be seniors and be a part of that is a special day.
Just following up with that, what does it mean to you and your team to play at a historic place like the Crampton Bowl?
Yeah, it's the biggest stage you could have this week. And to be able to be on that stage with a great team and then with great players, it's what every coach, I think, would want. These two guys from Shelby County, I was fortunate enough to be at one of those programs when they made the transition to 6A years and years ago. I know we would have given anything at that point in time to be on this stage. So it's a big stage, and our kids are going to embrace it, and they're going to appreciate it. And, we're fired up to be here.
Coach, a lot of schools, when you get to your first year, there's kind of that transition phase, maybe not expected to win as much. When you're in a program like Hoover with the expectations to win almost every single Friday night, do you feel that pressure? And do you feel the pressure to get to a Super 7 this season?
Everywhere you feel the pressure to win. I will say these young men sitting over there, they know what the expectations and the standards are. And I think when you take a job and you go into a job, and I've been, fortunate enough to be at some really good places, some great communities. And I'm just going to say quickly, seeing the videos from the Chelsea pep rally that they had the other day, my family, that just meant a lot to us to see that because that's a very special place. But a big part of a job is getting kids to believe that they can play at that level and do the things that we talk about doing as far as winning. Walking into this place, these kids have an understanding about what it takes. That part of the job is, you know, it's not complete, but we're ahead of the game in that part of the job. So, you know, the expectation, the standard has not changed. The head coach has changed. They've handled that change very well, and you know, we're going to be the Bucks on Friday night. That's for sure.
One more for me. Going into this year, we kind of asked you early on in the year, but now it's a few days away. What kind of coach are they getting? What kind of, is it an offensive guy, defensive guy? I know you got your rival opponent right there, but you don't give away too much.
Nah,
what can fans see?
I'm a team guy, and I think they would tell you that. I believe it's about relationships. You know, I want these kids to know me. I want to know them. You know, I think that's the culture we're trying to create. They'll better be able to answer those questions, you know, if we're working that and they see that. But no, I'm a team guy. I'm on both sides. I was a specialist in college, so I kind of got lost in between the shuffle. Was fortunate enough in my early coaching career at places to have to coach on both sides of the ball. You know, I think that's something that's missing in some areas at our level. Some guys get pegged early on one side and don't work on both sides. But, you know, they're not getting an offensive guy or a defensive guy. They're getting a guy that's going to do what's best for them and give them the best opportunity to win on Friday night.
One more question.
Yep.
As you go through your first year, what's one thing that you've learned already in your short time at Hoover?
What have I learned? That's a good question. That, you know, players are players. Kids are kids. They're super resilient. You know, you can look in that room, and I think of the 120 guys we've got on our team now, and I can think back to my early years. You know, you can see personalities of kids that you knew in 2001 and 2002. You see those same personalities, those same work habits. The good qualities, the qualities that you want to work on and improve on, you see them in all those kids. There just maybe be a few more of them, but what I've learned, kids are super resilient. They handle things really well. I think if you give them a plan, I think, you know, they're can do just about anything they need to do to be successful. Yep. Thank you all.
And to Wade, you keep hitting the word pressure. Pressure makes diamonds, so don't stress about that. I want to bring up a friend of mine I met last year with Auburn again at the football game after week 1. And after meeting this guy, I was just blown away by his being a great guy. Just an outstanding man, husband, father, coach. Please welcome the head coach of Auburn High School, Keith Etheridge.
All right, I'm going to echo these guys and thank the Alabama High School Athletic Association, Coach Briggs, Brandon Dean for inviting us and allowing us to play in this game. It's you know, special for our kids, special for our communities. Thank our superintendent, Kristen Herron, our principal, Dr. Pignato, for allowing us to be here. You know, this is one of those games that you get to start off a season and get to see what you have because you're playing such a great team in Hoover with great players, great coaches. You know, they're historically one of the best teams in the state. When you talk about football in the state of Alabama, Hoover's one of the first names that comes up. So, you know, we get an opportunity to start the year off and play a great team like Hoover, and we want to play them twice this year. Yeah. So hopefully we will be there at the end too. So, you know, but we're super excited to be here and, you know, blessed. And, you know, I've brought Mark Tolan, our defensive end, D.V. Williams, who is our running back, and Braden Joyner, who's the offensive tackle, and we'll play some defensive line also.
Coach, they mentioned, I believe you mentioned that it was Josh who agreed to this game. So now you have a new coach. Does that change anything? I'm sure there's a lot of
No, I mean, it's like Coach said, you know, Hoover's Hoover, you know, and Auburn's Auburn. We're gonna get together. Our kids are going to compete, and after the game, we're going to shake hands and, you know, wish each other the best. And, you know, hopefully everybody stays healthy and we move on to play region play. You know, this is a great game for our kids. You know, it's an exciting game. You know, we get an opportunity to showcase our kids on TV, and, you know, it's just, you know, like I said, we feel blessed that the Alabama High School Athletic Association asked us to be in this game. Yes.
So what's the feeling been on the practice field and in the locker room about starting the season with such a strong and tough 7A matchup?
Yeah, we want to play the best teams, and I know Hoover's the same way. We want to play against the best, you know, to show our strengths and our weaknesses. We want our kids to be showcased. You know, I've got a great coaching staff. You know, Will Wagner, our offensive coordinator, does an amazing job. Coach Gooseby, our defensive coordinator, does an amazing job. So we want our kids to be showcased, and I know that Hoover's in that same boat. You know, I'm good friends with the athletic director at Hoover, Andy Urban. We started our careers together coaching at Irwin High School. So, you know, there's some history there, and, you know, it's a blessing to get to coach against a team like Hoover.
Going through the offseason, getting ready for such a big game in Hoover, how does that change the practice throughout the offseason, getting ready for such a big game in Hoover?
It gives you that extra edge, you know, getting to start off with a team with that notoriety and that has so many great players. You know, you have to be have such attention to detail, because you just got to be perfect if you're going to play in those types of games, and you want to make sure that your kids are ready, and you want to make sure that you haven't missed anything to put them in a good situation where they have a chance to be in that game at the end.
But I'm wondering, when Josh left, you obviously know one of the biggest jobs in the state was open.
Mm-hmm.
You got them week one. What was going through your mind when Wade was hired, and what do you know about him as a coach?
I just know that Wade's one of the top coaches in the state of Alabama. You know, he's done a great job everywhere he's been. You know, and when Josh left, I knew they were going to hire a quality coach. You know, because like I said, you know, I've known Andy for a long time, and he's going to go out and try to get the best. And you know, I had. The expectation was to play against Hoover and play against one of the best teams in the state, and that changes nothing. You know, they just got another great coach, and Wade's going to do a great job at Hoover, and we're excited to play against them.
Coach, when you're putting in a game plan to play a team like Hoover, do you get a head start early into camp, or do you treat it like a regular game week and you start your prep on a Monday to be ready to play?
Of course, you're thinking about it in the back of your mind during the whole summer. You know, especially when we found out we were going to be playing, you know, in the Kickoff Classic. You know, we know that all eyes are going to be on us. But when you play, it just adds that extra, you know, emphasis on doing every little thing right. You know, so it's going to be an exciting game. It's going to be great for our kids. It's going to be great for our city, the city of Auburn, the city of Hoover. I expect it to be packed. I think it's going to be one of the premier games in the state on that night.
The last question I have for you, just want to talk about line play in the trenches, both offensive and defensive line. Can you speak to some of the interior linemen that this state produces and how they stack up with some of the other states in the state?
I think it's one of the, if you look across the state of Alabama this year, I think it has some of the premier players in the nation. I really do. You know, I've been blessed to ask to coach in the Mississippi-Alabama game, and, you know, I've been watching film for the last 2 weeks on kids, and, you know, there's some stud guys in the trenches in the state of Alabama this year.
John. Yes. Talk a little bit about being able to open up at Trent Bowl, with your region being right here in the Montgomery area.
Yeah.
How much of a competitive advantage do you think that gives y'all being able to play at a venue that you know a little bit better than
right. Well, it's not really that much different as far as playing here, because, I mean, we're playing region games here. We played some region games here, and we understand the dynamics of, you know, where the locker room is, where this, you know, we understand some of that. But, you know, it's a little different because you're starting off. It's a non-region game. You're playing Hoover, you know, so it makes it a little bit different. But it's always good to come play in Montgomery, you know. Thank you.
At this time, it's my honor to bring up a personal friend of mine who, when I call, always answers the phone and is always there for me and my family. Back in November, we shared a personal conversation at a game. He knows what it was. It meant a lot to me. And see him here today to represent the city of Montgomery is an honor to me, as my friend is here, the Mayor of Montgomery, Mayor Stephen Reed.
Good morning. On behalf of the City of Montgomery, City Council, and certainly our residents, I want to thank the Alabama High School Athletic Association for giving us the opportunity to host this Kickoff Classic again. To Executive Director Alvin Briggs, my good friend, Assistant Director Brandon Dean, I want to thank you all for your leadership and what you all have done with the AHSAA. just over the last couple of years. It's been a tough last couple of years in terms of trying to navigate not only the health landscape throughout this pandemic, but also just a change in what's happening in high school athletics. It just seems a lot different for me, for someone who played many moons ago in Crampton Bowl. But sometimes it feels like I can just get right out there until I look at these guys. I'm like, nah, I think I'm better off on the sideline. So it's good to see all of you here supporting Helena, Chelsea, Hoover, and Auburn, and the teams that we have. We're grateful to have such great coaches, I think, in the state of Alabama, great staff, great student athletes, great parents, and really great support. And in Montgomery, we want to be not only the home to high school football, but we want to be the home to college sports, and we want to partner with the Alabama High School Athletic Association in many ways. And so over the next few months, you'll see some upgrades in facilities that have been utilized in the past that really kind of fall a little bit behind. And so we're excited about that, whether it's at Lagoon Park, whether it's soccer complex, our tennis complex, and even the 100-year-old Crampton Bowl as we celebrate its centennial anniversary. It's good to say something's 100, but unless it's your granny or unless it's your granddad, it's probably not a whole lot of experience probably not a good experience to have to deal with it. And the same as with Crampton Bowl. We're doing some touch-ups on it that we think will provide a better atmosphere for high school games as well as college football games. And we know that as people come in to stadiums these days, it's a lot different than what you just have on the field. You got to have a vibe, you got to have an environment, and we're trying to meet that, and we hope to have some of this in place by the time the Kickoff Classic gets going here in just a couple of weeks. But I just want to say to all of you, we're excited to support you, and I hope that the coaches and the teams will do what several other college athletes have done in their teams in the last few weeks, and that is to tour the civil rights sites, to tour the state government sites. We had 300 athletes here from the Pac-12 and the Big Ten just a little bit over a month ago. We had the commissioner of the Big Ten, Kevin Warren, here with us at that time. It took 3 days to tour the sites and learn more about history and learn more about really what role Montgomery has played in that. This came after SEC Athletic Director Greg Sankey came, as well as some other teams in the SEC that were playing Auburn University at home. And I know that I read last year there were several coaches who brought those teams here who thought that it was important for their teams to do more than just play a game in this area, but to learn about the history and to learn about the pain, but also to learn about the progress. And so I hope that as high school student athletes, as leaders in your high school and in your community, as influencers that you are, having the platforms, I hope that you'll get that opportunity on this trip. And certainly, if not this trip, hopefully you can be brought back here with your schools just to learn more and to have those conversations. It's important that I think we learn more about one another, we learn more about this country and this nation and what makes it so great. And so I was glad to see those college athletes come from the West Coast, come from the Midwest. They had never been south, so many of them. They had a great experience, and Kevin Warren said they plan to even bring in the AHSAA as well in this coming forward. So we'll see more of those collegiate athletes. And as you all kind of set the foundation for where you'll play college or what you'll do at the next level, we hope that you'll remember your time here in Montgomery and what you experienced, not only what the final score was for the games, but also what your overall experience was with your teammates. So with that said, we just want to thank you again for being in Montgomery, and just want to thank again Executive Director Briggs and Assistant Director Dean for their leadership. In any way we can help and we can be a partner and we can improve things with our Parks and Recreation or the Central Alabama Sports Commission, don't hesitate to let us know. And I want to say this to all the coaches, good luck, and one of you got to win, but also one of you got to lose. So I'm going to stay with whoever wins, all right?
If I could have all the coaches come up front and take a picture with the mayor. Kim, would you join Alvin and myself up front? Kim Vickers.
That's what we're going to do is we're going to take some pictures with the coaches. We're going to get the players up here in a minute or two, and then you can have time for some one-on-ones, okay?
Right here. Everybody see okay? After they shoot, there's some pictures behind us. The guys behind, can y'all get your shots now? We appreciate there will be some questions for some one-on-ones, and also Doug Amos is on the air in the next lobby. He'd love to talk to you. He asked me specifically, maybe ask you to be over there if you can do it.
Sorry, I was late. I was on the meeting.
Now let's move to the
What?